Sunshine Fam, how's everything going today for everybody? Today's video is going to be a lot more lighthearted than the last one. Because us Minnesotans have been overloaded on what's been going on here in the Twin Cities, and myself included. And so I am just going to unplug and take a break for a few days and try not to focus on all the craziness that's going on out there and just kind of focus on what's going on in here. So with that being said, I wanted to give you an update as to what's been going on with me, because I haven't really been talking much about my arm. I haven't been making videos really much about what's been going on. Actually, I think I've only made one video since the fall that I took in December, and that was when Silver Star and Durfee Wolf and Sea Dog were here. Right around, I think it was like Christmas Eve is when I made that video, and then I made the other one last week. Since then, I've basically just been sitting around playing Happy Color and not doing much, not going out much or anything. So just kind of a recap for those of you that are unaware of what I'm talking about. Quick recap. I was at work and I was pushing a cart to the end of my register the day before Halloween. So this is way back in October. And my foot caught on the back wheel and I fell down. The floors at work are not carpeted. They are very hard floors. They're not tile or anything, but they're kind of along the same lines of how hard tile is. So, in any case, I feel that I went straight down, straight forward. Like I didn't lean more to the left or to the right. We do have security cameras at work, and one of my managers had taken his phone and videotaped the fall from different angles, showed me the next time I went into work, and I asked permission to videotape the fall from 2 different angles off of his phone onto my phone, which I did. I'm not going to show those to you because it'll give away where I work. So, in any case, the video even shows me going straight forward, but apparently I fell a little bit more to the left side than to the right side, or straight forward. So I went to the urgent care that night in October. They took some x-rays, didn't find anything wrong. So I continued to work. The pain kept getting increasingly worse, so I went to a different urgent care. They ordered an MRI, so that was done at the end of November. And then 2 weeks later, I went back to the doctor. That was my hand doctor. And he told me that they did x-rays that morning too. That was on December 8th. So they did x-rays that morning, and he told me that I had a fracture in my humerus bone, or humerus bone, whatever, it isn't very humorous, which the fracture is right about here in my shoulder. So it's not technically on the shoulder itself, it's just around the corner. So upper arm, I would say. So he ordered me to do physical therapy, which I have been doing. I've been going every week. I do it here at home. And every week they give me 1 or 2 more exercises to add on to the ones that they've already given me. And I've been doing that. So yesterday, January 12th, I went to see the doctor again, because at first he had given me a doctor's note stating that I cannot lift, push, or pull anything over 1 pound from December 8th through January 19th, which hasn't come yet. And I showed that note to my managers, and they said, well, we can't have you work because we don't sell anything that's under 1 pound. So we're going to put you on leave. I filed a claim, so at least this time I don't have to pay the doctor bills. I am getting paid from Workman's Comp, which is a good thing. Because 2 weeks ago I had literally $20 in my bank account. So I have gotten 2 paychecks since then. which has brought me current. So I've gotten quite a bit of money in the last 2 weeks. So I'm sitting good financially. So going back to yesterday, I went to see the doctor because as of the 19th, the next weight restriction was going to be 5 pounds from the 19th of January till March 2nd. So when I showed that note to my managers back on December 8th, they said, well, we might be able to work with you with 5 pounds, but we prefer at least 10 pounds. So if you can get your doctor to move it to 10 pounds. So in the meantime, I've been doing physical therapy and resting my arm, not doing much, trying to avoid lifting, pushing, or pulling anything over 1 pound, but, you know, certain things, you have to lift up more than 1 pound, but I'm not going overboard with that. So, went to see the doctor, and he did some more x-rays. The bone is coming together nicely. And I've only had 3 physical therapy appointments at this point since yesterday. I did go to physical therapy this morning. And so he wanted to see where I could go with my arm. Now, I know in a couple of videos ago, if you go back into my list and look back a couple of videos, I think it's, I don't remember what I titled that one. If it was... Things Have Taken a Turn, I think I titled that one. I did kind of show you how far up I could lift my arm. And I think at that point I said I could only lift it to about here. Well, guess what, folks? I can go up to about here now. So that's a big improvement. So when I showed the doctor that, he took my arm, I'm going to use my good arm, and he went like this straight above my head, and I went, oh, okay, that hurts. Please don't do that. So he kind of moved my arm to the side and kind of rotated my arm a little bit. He goes, well, your range of motion isn't exactly where we want it to be. So he said, continue with the physical therapy, and we'll raise your weight limit from 1 pound to 5 pounds now, but I don't want to see you go back to work until March 9th. I was hoping to go back in February. So that is kind of a downer for me. So I'm still stuck at home for at least another 2 months. Yes, it's very dry. Don't worry, it's just water. I don't drink alcohol anyway. So at this point, I was sitting on that news. I immediately went to work after I got that note and gave them the new note and said, well, I was hoping to come back next month, but the doctor said no until March. So they are very well aware that I will be out for at least 2 more months. Hopefully, maybe a little bit sooner if I can continue to get better. So I went to physical therapy today. They gave me a couple new exercises to do. So I'm going to continue doing that. So that's where things are at with me. Things are getting better. I still can't move my arm this way except to about here. I think before it was like down here, so it is improving a little bit this way. But we're working on it. So hopefully I can get back to work soon, because I'm going stir crazy sitting in this apartment doing absolutely nothing. There are 4 good things that are coming out of this. 1, I don't have to pay the medical bills because it is workman's comp. 2, because it's workman's comp, I am getting paid this time, unlike with my foot and my hand. 3, when we've had bad storms, bad winter storms, or it's been bloody cold outside, sorry to you British people, because I know that's a curse word in Britain, when it's been really cold outside, at least I don't have to drive in that weather, on the ice and the snow and all that stuff. And speaking of ice, 4, I don't have to deal with ice agents out there. Not going to talk about that because Silver Star has been called up for jury duty. She has to report on February 17th. And so she's trying to avoid any news information about anything, because they said, you know, we're trying to, if you get called into a jury, we want to make sure that you go into a jury unbiased and uninformed of anything that might be going on out there. So she's avoiding all news as much as possible. So what happened here last Wednesday, she knows about that much of it. So I'm not even going to talk about that in this video, in hopes that she can watch this one. Because obviously she wasn't going to watch the last one, because she figured it was about what happened. She's not completely oblivious, she said. She does know a little bit about it, but she doesn't want to know anything else. Now, whether she would get on that case is yet to be seen, because I know, you know, she's been told by some of her friends that anything ICE related is a federal case, so she probably wouldn't get that case anyway. But I know that our governor is trying to make it local. So just in case she gets on that jury, we don't want to talk about that. So I'm not going to mention any details about what happened here last Wednesday, but you people all know. And I'm talking about January 7th. Even if you're watching from out of state or out of the country, I know you've seen it because it's all over the news, all around the world. So I know you know what I'm talking about. So another bit of information about my family. I just got this like maybe 15-20 minutes ago. My mom went to the ear doctor today to get a hearing test. And it turns out she's losing her hearing now. So not only does she have macular degeneration, which means that she's losing her eyesight, but now she's losing her hearing as well. So they've ordered hearing aids for her. She is currently 87 years old. So it is to be expected. And I'm trying to look at the positive side of life, but every time I hear something to do with my parents' medical issues, I mean, my dad's 93, he'll be 94 in about a month or so. Or no, maybe he's 92. He's 92, he will be 93. Yeah, because he was born in 33, my mom was born in 38. So he'll be 93. So obviously, they're at the other end of the spectrum. They don't have as much life to live as the majority of us do. Although there is longevity in my dad's side. My mom's side, not so much. So she's outlived all of her family. Obviously, her parents passed away. She had 2 brothers. She was the youngest. And she had 2 older brothers, and they both have passed away. The one, well, I don't want to get into too much details, because then I can talk about that in my eventual Who Do You Think You Are videos. Still working on a title for that. Still working on getting information. Like I said, it's been cold, so I haven't really gone anywhere. And so I haven't really been doing anything regarding that. But as far as getting like detailed information about my ancestors. But now with her having to get hearing aids, it just reminds me that eventually I'm going to get that call. So, like I said, I'm trying to stay positive, but it's not very easy. The other thing I wanted to talk about here, the last video that I put up took way longer than I anticipated it to do. And then usually after I upload them onto YouTube, I go back and watch them again. Well, I've been noticing that, I know I don't always look at the camera, so I'm not always privy to this until I look at the video. I really do need to be more focused on you instead of looking around my apartment all the time. But what I'm noticing is that, and I'm sure you guys have noticed this as well, that the lighting on my videos kind of goes a little bit dark and then comes back to normal, and then goes a little bit dark and back to normal. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Today I added a little bit more light over on this side. Maybe what I need to do is get one of those ring lights that a lot of these other content creators, YouTubers, get to keep the light on your face, so that maybe it doesn't do that. So I have no control over that. It's the camera that's doing that. So I'll apologize for the lighting being kind of off in my videos. Hopefully you guys can just look past that. So in any case, this is going to be a little bit shorter of a video, obviously. I just wanted to update you on the arm and where I've been, where I'm going. Title of the video, I guess. And hopefully everybody is doing okay. The only other thing I'm going to say about what's been going on in the Twin Cities is I want all of you guys to stay safe out there. There have been protests in my neighborhood. Well, not like around where I live, but not very far from where I live. In the city I live in, let's put it that way. And I don't live too close to downtown Minneapolis. So I have been safe. I live about a half an hour away from downtown, so I'm not down with the crazies. But it is starting to pour out into the suburbs of Minneapolis. I don't know about St. Paul. I know that there is some stuff going on in downtown St. Paul, but it seems like most of it is focused in Minneapolis area. So I have been safe. I did see an incident this morning that I cannot guarantee that this traffic stop was an ICE agent or if it was the police. And the only reason I say it that way is because of the vehicle that this officer was in. The officer themselves looked to be a police officer, because I didn't notice the green vest on this person. And it was just one vehicle and one officer stopping one girl in a traffic stop. But the vehicle threw me off because it wasn't your typical police officer, or police vehicle, I should say. So I can't say for sure if it was police or ICE. But if it was ICE, I am being very, very vigilant, because that happened just outside my apartment complex. But nothing happened. It was just your basic, typical traffic stop. I don't know what the person did, but I was walking to my car, and I heard the honk of the horn, and it was like a police officer honking their horn, whatever, when they're trying to stop someone. Not your typical honk honk. And I looked up and I saw the vehicle coming by. It had the red and blue lights on it, but it wasn't your typical police officer, or police officer vehicle, I should say. So that's what threw me. But when I went out that way where they were stopped, it looked like a police officer. So continue to pray for us here. I will continue to be very vigilant. Like I said, I hardly ever leave my apartment. And I'm also saving on gas for my car too. So that's 5 things that are good about me not working right now. But I promise you I will stay safe. I am not going out and searching for protests that I can partake in. I support them, but I am not out there protesting on the street. I'm not going to look for trouble. More power to you if you're out there protesting. I'm with you, I back you, I support you, but don't go looking for trouble. Don't be throwing things like baloney or snowballs at these ICE officers, or ICE agents. Although I have seen some pretty funny videos where the ICE agents are literally slipping and falling on ice on the ground, which all of us think that's absolutely hysterical, given what they're doing. But I am being very careful, so don't worry about me. I will continue to make content for you. It may not be every week, it may not be very frequently, but it's not like I have a lot to tell you, given my current situation. But I will try to keep up with you guys and stuff like that. And I will try to force myself to do some more research on my family tree so I can start making those videos for you. So at least you have something new to watch. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Like I said, shorter video. And everybody stay safe out there. It's not just happening here in Minnesota, although this happens to be the #1 news story around the world. I do have a friend that's in Hawaii that said that she's been seeing ICE agents arresting people, but it's nowhere near what she's seeing going on here. I know that ICE is pretty much everywhere now. Although one other thing I want to point out is I was watching this clip of Jimmy Kimmel from a couple days ago, and he was talking about Trump getting up from his meeting with the oil executives and looking out the window at his developing ballroom, which he seems to be obsessed with. And then he goes on to the topic of Iran and how the leader, what I can't think of, it's not a Shah, but or is it a Shah? I don't know. Whoever the leader of Iran is dealing with protests in his country as well and asking for help. And so Carpathia is saying, just let us know when you need our help because we are standing behind you, even though he is not supporting us here. So Jimmy Kimmel says, I'll tell you what we do. We take all the ICE agents out of the streets of Minneapolis and send them over to Iran. They'll help you. And the crowd erupted. Jimmy Kimmel, thank you very much. Thank you for having our back. I totally agree with that. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Get this video up. Hopefully it doesn't take nearly as long today to do that. But you guys all stay safe out there. Stay warm. If you have to, take a break from all the news and play something happy. Go watch Hamilton. Go be chosen for the Constitutional Convention. I'm actually working on a parody from Farmer Refuted, which I did tell Silver Star about. She kind of got a good kick out of that, or even a parody of My Shot. If you listen to the words of My Shot, it's very, very close to what all of us want to say to the ICE agents out there. That or na 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 na. Hey, 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 goodbye. Or another one bites the dust, but don't act on that. Just sing the song to them. Another one bites the dust, get out. So I'm going to go ahead and go and upload this video. You guys have a sunny day, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.